I'd like to bring the August 8th Planning and Zoning meeting to order. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chairman Morabito.
Here.
I'm sorry. Commissioner Azarmi.
Here.
Commissioner Coletta.
Here.
Commissioner Simons.
Here.
Commissioner Keller. Here. Commissioner Posinel.
Here.
Chairman Fouché.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Just our standard announcements here this morning. Anyone who has not yet signed in, please do so at the table located in the lobby. Should anyone wish to speak, please complete the request to speak form, which is also located in the lobby table next to the sign-in sheet. A request to speak form must be completed for all items you would like to speak on, including sub-items. Please note that there are stairs on the right, left, and the center aisles, and we ask that you use caution when using these stairs. There's also a ramp located at the audience's left. If anyone has written comments, exhibits, petitions, photos, or letters they intend to present at today's meeting, please have 17 copies and give them to the staff member in the back of the auditorium. She has her hand up in the back. Thank you. If you do not have 17 copies, you may use the table with the overhead camera next to the podium to present your documents. If you want your documents to go on record, you must hand them to the clerk after your presentation with the agenda item number clearly marked on the document. Members of the public cannot speak to the staff members that are sitting at the tables with microphones during the meeting. If you have any questions, please see the staff member in the back of the auditorium, and she can meet you in the lobby to discuss. Staff members in the front, please raise your hands. Thank you. Timer will be activated, and all speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to make their presentations and statements. Everyone, please turn off your cell phones and pagers or place them on vibrate during the meeting. If you must receive a call, please leave the meeting area and go outside to have your conversation. We also ask the audience to refrain from talking with anyone during the presentations and discussions. Today's Planning and Zoning Commission will hear public testimony and then forward a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. The items with recommendations made by the Commission will be heard by the Board of Supervisors on Thursday, September 6th at 9:30 a.m. in the same location with the exception of any continued items. Everyone is attending the meeting is asked to remember that the administrative building and campus are tobacco-free areas, which means no smoking is allowed curb to curb. Also, only bottled water is allowed in the auditorium. No food, soda, coffee, etc. is allowed in the auditorium. Items number 8A and 8B will be continued by the applicant. If there's any items remaining on the agenda, the Commission will break for lunch at 1 p.m. Approval of the minutes from last month. Has everybody had a chance to review? Are there any comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second for the last month's minutes. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. I do have a question. Thursday? Okay. Item number 1.
Item 1 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to BOS Resolution 2005-231, which conditionally approved a rezone on assessor's parcel number 227-15135 from an AR agricultural residential 1 acre minimum lot size zone to a C2H general commercial highway frontage zone, to remove condition number 7, or to grant an extension of time for rezone to allow time for submittal of a revised site plan and any necessary permits. This is in the South Mohave Valley area. Staff is recommending that BOS Resolution 2005-231 be amended to eliminate condition number 7. That's the condition that imposes a 1-year time period and is the reason this has been back for multiple extensions of time. A couple of months ago, we had a similar item. This particular property, it's unlikely, at least in staff's view, that this property will be developed for anything other than commercial uses. And a reversion back to the AR, agricultural residential zone, doesn't really seem appropriate. Therefore, we would recommend removal of condition 7. Thank you.
What is the time limit that they wanted on this? How many years?
Mr. Chairman, with removal of that condition, basically it takes a time limit off of it.
Okay.
And basically, when they get ready to do construction, they just need to finish their site plan and pull permits.
Okay. All right. Is the applicant here? Would you like to address the commission?
Good morning. My name is Sean Lake, here on behalf of the property owner. We appreciate the opportunity to be before you. We have been before this commission of the board many times before. We continue to monitor the sales in surrounding stores. Walmart has purchased this site. They have been processing site plans and reevaluating in bigger stores, smaller stores, depending upon market conditions. And we think it will be soon, but we're not sure. That's why we were, in working with your staff, had requested a removal of that stip so that we don't have to keep doing this. I think this is our 5th or 6th time. But there is every intent to build the store at that location. We're just waiting for the market and sales in surrounding stores to pick up.
All right. Any questions of
Mr.
the
Chairman?
speaker? Yes.
I have a couple of questions. What would it take for Walmart to proceed with the construction? Because I know that Bullhead City Walmart is one of the top-notch, Walmart in terms of the sales. Even the agreement you had for the tax incentive was supposed to be 60 months, and you guys got it in 20 months. And I heard in the neighborhood of $200 million a year and revenue and all that. So what does it take? And I know that you and Target are providing like 40% of the sales tax for the Bullhead City. So what does it take for Walmart to, I thought that, again, there is a saying that because a lot of people in our jurisdiction, Joe and I basically are from that area, ask that question, that, what does it take for Walmart to start construction? What is it that you're looking for? What's the goal? What is the target?
No pun intended, correct?
What's that?
When you say what is the target, no pun intended.
No, absolutely not.
Chairman, Commission members, I appreciate the question, but it's not as simple as just a quick answer.
Okay.
Walmart has a very complex process of evaluating demographics, population, permits pulled, remodels pulled, age of housing, local income, sales of surrounding stores, and they plug this all into a formula, and then every year they take all the approved stores, previously approved stores, and proposed stores, and they have to meet a certain hurdle in order to achieve a certain return on the store. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to build the store. The worst thing that could happen for anybody is to build the store and then it not be profitable, because then it doesn't work for anybody. It's bad for the community. It's bad for business. And so we believe we're close, but we're not quite there. We're close such that Walmart has authorized architects and engineers to proceed with working on the site plan. We've met with staff on that and should be filing a site plan shortly for the larger store, which is a positive thing, but we'll be...
In your application, you're showing that you're going from 150,000 square foot to 180,000 square foot, and you're making it more complete.
Correct. So that is what the engineers are working on right now, is the larger store, because we think the market area will accommodate that. So I wish I could give you a better answer than
that's
that.
fine. I appreciate that, thank you.
Just want the truth. Oh, yeah. Any additional questions of the speaker? Any comments of the commission? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second for item number 1. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 2A.
Item 2A is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the South Mohave Valley Area Plan for Assessor's Parcel 225-14020 from an AR Agricultural Residential Land Use Designation to an M Manufacturing Land Use Designation to allow a rezone request for a proposed bottled water facility in the South Mohave Valley. There are 4 letters opposing this item. Staff recommends approval of the proposed area plan amendment as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? We have no speakers on the item. Would you like to address the commission? I know we have some questions.
Good morning. My name's Phil Regan. I own the property there, and I'm in the bottled water business now. I have a bottling facility here in Kingman, and so we use Kingman City water right now, which comes out of the city wells there. A normal home will use roughly 500 gallons a day, about 15,000 gallons a month. Last month at my bottling plant, we used 30,000 gallons. We really are not using a tremendous amount of water there. The well on the property's been in since 1984. It's produced water for 28 years now with no drop down in the well whatsoever. I've done extensive research really on the well and I've talked to the Bureau of Reclamation, the ADWR. We've had the water tested extensively. Basically, the well is rated at 16 gallons a minute, and there is 0 drop down in the well at that level. The well is 500 feet deep, and the pump is submerged approximately 80 feet in water. So at 16 gallons a minute, that's essentially 900 gallons an hour, and there's no drop down in the well.
Okay, any questions from the commission to the speaker?
Mr. Commissioner,
Yes.
is it operating right now?
It's operating for my home, yes.
And the building on the lot is going to be where you do business?
Yes, sir.
So no new buildings?
No, we had that structure built approximately 6 years ago, primarily just for a garage. It's 5,000 square feet, it's a commercial grade metal building, and no other structures will be needed.
I have one other question. How do you get that road graded by the county? We live on a dirt road and they haven't been out there in years.
You know, they've actually done a very good job. Like, we just had a lot of rain, and they've been out grading the road regularly. They've done a good job out there.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is this going to be open to public to come and purchase water?
No, sir. Well, we're a delivery business. Our hours of operation will basically be 7 a.m. to roughly 4 in the afternoon. There won't be any heavy truck traffic. My trucks right now are 3,500 flatbeds. So 4,500, 5,500 is about as big a truck as we'd go to there. And there's no customer traffic coming in the site.
Okay, but you're going to provide service to the community in terms of, delivering the water to their homes, right?
That's right.
Okay. And have you checked the quality of the water? I mean, has it been analyzed so, you're confident that your business is not going to fail?
Yes, sir, and we're currently in the business now, but I have the report here. We had the state of Arizona requires very extensive testing, so it was about $3,500 through the lab to have the testing done. Then we applied to the state of Arizona and got an approval from the ADWR, which is the Arizona Department of Water Resource. They gave us an approval as a bottled water source. The water quality is very, very good.
You know, the concern that I believe, the neighboring property owners they have is providing a zoning that if the business fails, can be changed to something else, manufacturing. So do you have any objection if you have a stipulation in there that you would be able to use it only for bottling?
I have no objection to that whatsoever.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just look, clarification on your numbers there. So you're guesstimating 15,000 gallons is the average household usage, and you're saying you're going to be using 30,000 gallons, so basically 2 households, is that?
Our bottling plant here in Kingman, I have my Kingman City water bill right here. We used 30,290 gallons at the bottling plant last month, which June is a high month, so that's what we use there. Of course, my home is there, so we would probably be
Is that your
somewhere in the
capacity,
neighborhood of 40
or
to
do you have the
45,000.
capacity to expand beyond that?
You know, the bottled water business is pretty competitive. It's tough business. There's a lot of competition there. So of course, I'm always in the market to pick up customers and to grow. I would have to grow very, very substantially for me to, there just doesn't seem to be any drawdown on the well. And actually, with the Bureau of Reclamation, there's no allocation requirements or anything on a well that's less than 35 gallons per minute. And right now, we're at 15 gallons a minute.
I only ask because that's some of the concerns that have been addressed to us, is the taxing of that aquifers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions of the speaker? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a comment.
Sure.
The quality of the water in Mohave Valley and Fort Mohave is not that good. And I think this is going to be, helpful to the community. Most of them, they have to have a water softener RO system in their homes. And some, rental programs, they don't have the financial backing to be able to do that. So I think it would be a very good asset. Again, the only concern that I believe the community has is if this business fails, and it would be changed to a different type thing. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve per staff recommendation with a stipulation that would be only used for the water bottling, and if it fails, they have to change. It has to come back to public, to the county for review.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 2A. 2B,
2B, evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 225-14020 from an AR-5A agricultural residential 5-acre minimum lot size zone to an M general manufacturing zone for proposed bottled water facility in the South Mohave Valley. And staff recommends approval as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
the applicant is present.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to address the commission on this? Please state your name again.
I'm sorry. My name's Philip Regan. I own the property there at 3485 Boundary Cone Road. The area does seem to, it seems to fit in the area. I've looked at much of the properties there. We do have frontage on Boundary Cone Road, and there are other commercial entities there, mainly Blackstone RV Park, the Three Dog Garage. There's a hay broker there in the neighborhood that runs a lot of trucks in there. There's some other commercially zoned property in the area, so it seems that that it doesn't change the integrity of the area. Thank you.
Any questions of the speaker? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I can make a motion to approve and make a comment with it. In item number 1 of the staff recommendation, it says a bottling facility and related things only. So it's already in the recommendations. So make motion to approve per staff recommendations.
Second?
We have a motion and a second for item 2B. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 3.
Item 3 is an evaluation of a request for zoning use permit on assessor's parcel 224-24090 for residents in a C2H general commercial highway frontage zone in the South Mohave Valley. Staff recommends approval of the zoning use permit as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? We have no speakers on the item. Any questions or comments from the commission? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make motion to approve item number 3 per staff recommendation.
We have a motion and a second for item number 3. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 4.
Item 4 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 30651-006B from an AR 10A agricultural residential 10-acre minimum lot size to an AR 5A agricultural residential 5-acre minimum lot size zone to allow creation of 2 residential parcels in the Golden Valley. Staff recommends approval of the rezone as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? Would you like to address the commission? We have no speakers on this item.
Yes, my name is Dale Longwith. I am the father of the 2 children that this property belongs to. They just wish to split it up, so as good fences make good neighbors, so does a good property line make no problems within the family when times come later on in the years. That's all I need to say.
Keep peace in the family. I like that. Any questions of the speaker?
I noticed that the acreage is exactly the same, so you did a great job of being
Yeah.
even, size.
Down to the square foot. We like that. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve based on staff recommendations.
Second. We have a motion to approve item number 4. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5.
Item 5 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 30649-025 from an AR 10A agricultural residential 10-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 2A agricultural residential 2-acre minimum lot size zone to allow creation of a parcel for a fire station in the Golden Valley. Staff recommends approval of the proposed rezone as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? Would you like to address the commission, please?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Thomas O'Donoghue, the Fire Chief for Golden Valley Fire District. When I arrived here a couple of years ago, I saw that there was many things that needed to be done in the Golden Valley area as it related to public safety. And one of those things was relocation of fire stations, improvement in the fire district itself. We have been going through a long list of things to make improvements. What this fire station does, it meets one of the basic needs to reduce our ISO rating for the people in the community. For those of you who don't know, you receive better insurance benefits if you are within 5 road miles of a fire station and 1,000 feet of a fire hydrant. The movement of this fire station will allow the people up in the Sohi area to go from a protection class 9, which is not very good and very hard on your insurance rates, to a protection class 5, which should completely cover the cost of their fire taxes in savings and insurance in many cases. So What we're doing is we are spreading out the footprint, our coverage area of the fire district. This is phase one of several phases of a project, and we would appreciate you following staff recommendations so we can protect the community that much better and reduce rates for their insurance.
I have a question. Going from a 5 to a 4, there's actually a, or a 9 to a 4. but
It'll be a
even-
9 to a 5.
Yeah, but what is the criteria to take it to a 4? Because a 4 makes even a bigger difference.
It does, and Golden Valley Fire District is doing just that. We're making moves right now to, within the last year and a half, I've formalized a fire marshal program, so we have ongoing inspections. I have somebody dedicated solely for that job. Our training of the crews has gone from every few days to mandatory several hours each day. We are meeting national and state standards for our training for our people. Our water supply, we're improving that and our ability to deliver water by buying additional apparatus that can, in the future, and my goal is by 2015 to have 90% of the populace covered with a Class 5 protection class, and that's because we will buy apparatus that will be able to deliver 1,000 gallons a minute for 3 hours running nonstop anywhere in the fire district.
I guess my question is, and I'm good with that, I'm just trying to see additional added value to the homeowners in the area if it went down to a 4, because it would probably drop their rates another 20%.
You are absolutely correct. I have to get several of the measurement criteria that ISO puts in place in order to get a reevaluation. When we get the new fire station, this new fire station, and they'll come in and reevaluate us, and they will come in and take a look at what we've already done, and then we have plans to build one. We've already purchased property on Yucca Road in Yuma, down by Griffith Energy, as that would be our Station 14. And there's several phases of this, but I would predict within 5 years that our training, our new dispatch center, our ability to deliver water, minimum staffing, firefighter and paramedic 24-hour services, which we already provide, will facilitate getting it down to a 4.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure you're working in that direction, because that would be a huge benefit.
Diligently.
All
Every
right.
once in a while, I get to go fight a fire as well.
Well, we hope that doesn't happen very often. Any other questions, comments to the speaker?
Jack, you need to put it on your list if you become a supervisor.
That's right. Volunteer. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I leave it up to Jack.
I'll make the motion to approve for staff
Thank you,
recommendation.
sir.
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 5. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 6.
Item 6 is an evaluation of a request for rezone of assessor's parcel number 210242330A from a C2 general commercial zone to C2H general commercial highway frontage zone to allow outdoor display of rental equipment in the Golden Shores vicinity. Staff recommends approval of the proposed rezone as indicated in the staff report. There is one letter in opposition. Thank you.
Is the applicant present for item number 6? Would you like to address the commission, please?
Just for a minute.
Sure. We love minutes.
My name is Joseph Eichel, and I've made some investments in the Golden Shores area of Arizona. And I rented this property to a gentleman who was running a U-Haul business there. And we came to find out sometime later that this property wasn't zoned properly. So that's what I'm trying to do, is keep my tenant and also get the property zoned correctly so that he can run his business there. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions of the speaker? Hearing none. Any comments from the commission?
I have a question for staff.
All right.
Is there if we rezone this, is there a setback Because I think the letter in opposition was about putting things out onto the highway. So how far back, or what would it do? I mean, the only picture we got is not a very clear picture of what's going on.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Morabito, the building setbacks are the same for C2H and C2, so there isn't a difference there. As far as where items are displayed, they would just have to be within the property line, the property boundaries. You can't really use the county right-of-way, but for display of movable objects like vehicles, trailers, those sorts of things, there's not really a building setback from the property line for those. Buildings, permanent structures do have a setback, though.
So the display wouldn't block the view of traffic, or it would, because it would be back far enough on their property, or on their property?
If it's on the property itself, it should not cause problems, as far as I can understand it.
Okay, is that your understanding? It's not going to disrupt anything that's there?
No, sir. The fence line is about 20 feet from the edge of the road, so it'll be back far enough. Property is large enough to support several pieces of equipment at one time.
Okay, and there's no curb and gutter there, is there?
I'm sorry?
Is there any curb and gutter?
No.
So
have
the
a-
tenant would know not to put them,
We have a parking pad out front, which I think abuts up to the roadbed.
okay, because I'm sure you've seen the letter, the complaint letter was basically they didn't want things,
I did not see any complaint letters, sir.
Mr.
there's one around somewhere. It's just a matter, I think, if the property's clean, if everything's taken care of, it's not going to be an issue at all.
Okay.
And if it helps his business, that's what everybody wants to have happen anyhow. So-
I understand, and I'd like to, get the zoning so that my tenant can do what he wants to do, and I can get my rent every month and make a little bit of money off of the property, and maybe I can buy a new car eventually.
Never know.
Pay your bills.
I
Yes.
have a comment. To answer your question, Commissioner Morabito, I'm very familiar with the property, and the tenants that have taken over and where the fence line is, they've been very courteous to put smaller 4x4s out front. They built little decorative mines. The property right now looks better than I have seen it in years. They're making sure they keep the bigger equipment toward the back and that it's aligned beautifully. I think the improvement there has been incredible.
That's good to hear.
And we always appreciate, correcting the zoning from C2 to C2H, which is applicable.
Okay. Any other questions or comments of the speaker? Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right. Any comments or questions of the commission? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve with stack recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second for item number 6. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Item 7A.
Need to recuse myself.
Please note that Commissioner Simmons has got to excuse herself.
Item 7A is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mohave County General Plan for Assessor's Parcel Number 308-31027A from an RDA Rural Development Area Land Use Designation to a UDA LI Urban Development Area Light Industrial Land Use Designation, and to amend Exhibits 6.4 and 6.8 of the general plan to match, to allow a rezone request for a proposed expansion of a waste hauling business in the Mineral Park chloride vicinity. Staff recommends approval of the proposed general plan amendment, subject to the conditions of the staff report. Thank you.
Is the applicant present?
She just left.
I've got to ask the question. We have no speakers on the item. Any questions or comments from the commission? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion to approve item 7A. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7B.
Item 7B is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 30831-027A from an RE1A residential recreation 1 acre minimum lot size zone to a CMO commercial manufacturing open lot storage zone to allow expansion of a waste hauling business in the Mineral Park chloride vicinity. Staff recommends approval of the proposed rezone as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
Speaker is secluded, or the applicant rather. Any questions or comments of the commission? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve 7B per staff recommendations.
Second that.
We have a motion to approve item 7B. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 9, staff report.
Good show.
John, you're looking
Did,
at Chris. Chris is looking at John.
Well,
Yeah, no, this one's mine, and
yeah, I was just going to say, has everybody had a
was just
chance to
looking back
review
and forth.
this?
my computer just crashed, and I've
Oh.
been trying to bring it back up, and it is not doing so.
Oh, anybody got a hammer?
So I was going to ask John to read it, and then I'll explain that.
Item 9 is a discussion of a proposal to amend Section 9 and Section 20 of the Mohave County zoning ordinance to provide for learning centers in commercial zones. And staff is recommending amendments to the Mohave County zoning ordinance as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
Anything you want to add, Chris?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this proposed amendment actually is intended to address an issue that came up last year, and the issue came up kind of in connection with churches in part, where the Mohave County zoning ordinance at that particular time did not allow churches or any types of school or education in commercial zones, either C1 all the way through CMO. And we have had several requests for particularly churches in commercial areas. We also have had some requests for not K through 12, the normal K through 12 system, but rather systems that would augment that training. Tutorial facilities, or just systems that would be where the education would be in addition to what the children were receiving in the normal K through 12 system. We brought last year an amendment forward that included both churches and schools, and that would have included the K through 12 be allowed in commercial zones. There was a lot of concern expressed about allowing the K through 12 system to be in commercial zones, mainly with regard to the safety of the children and the traffic and the different traffic movements that occur. So schools was left off of the change, churches was kept on, but we still have this one issue about the supplemental learning. And for the most part, those are locating in commercial zones. The purpose of this particular amendment is to do two things, one of which is to give a classification to the supplemental learning facilities. So I define them as learning centers. And then the second would be to allow them in the C1 zone. Our commercial zones are cumulative. So if we allow it in the C1 zone, the C2 zone says anything allowed in the C1 zone and all of our commercial zones are like that. That has the effect of allowing the learning centers throughout the entire breadth of the commercial zones themselves.
You know, I've noticed I haven't looked at the land uses in Bullhead or in Kingman, but I do know, and I don't particularly care for this, in Havasu, they have a C zoning, which is strictly for churches. But I have found that so many churches and even K through 12 schools are in, especially not the public schools, but the private schools are in either C1, C2, C3, or not C3, but in industrial spaces.
Right.
And what I want to make sure is that if they get their licenses, their permits, everything that they need to do in a C1, C2 zoning or C2H zoning, that it's not going to have to come back to us for a specialized school or church because of the ownership kind of a scenario, or does that make any difference?
That would not make any difference. This amendment would not allow those uses, or the learning centers in industrial zones, would allow them in commercial zones.
Okay.
And no, it's the use that we focus on, not the ownership. So it would be allowed in all those commercial zones regardless of who owns them.
Well, I know in Havasu, we have two that are in heavy industrial zones, and I guess we'll have to see what comes our way in the future
Yeah.
and how we're going to.
Right now, the county's heavy industrial zones are focused, like up at the airport in the city, in Kingman, or outside the Kingman Airport, down along the I-40 corridor. They're not in locations where you would expect to have a pressure to locate either a church or a supplemental learning center, because they're not near rooftops.
Right.
Or if they are near rooftops, they're very sparsely distributed, so.
Or at least a
it's-
mile away or something, yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
What if one of the unified school districts did have a need? And the only reason I bring this up is because I know Kingman's going to that, they're starting their Kingman Online Academy starting in September, and they're doing it a little bit differently, and they're going to make the students have a proctor present when they take their exams, so that they know exactly who is taking the exam. And I know they've got property allocated within the city of Kingman to deal with their situation now, but say they wanted to expand that ability into Golden Valley or up to Dolan Springs, and the only availability was property like this. I mean, it's a future need. It may never happen, but
Yeah.
I mean, is there some way that we could address? Obviously, we could address that at later if we needed to, but.
I'm, not being familiar with, the frequency of the exams. If it's something they only do a couple times a year, I don't think that we would be concerned with the location. I do know during the exams for them, security is extremely important. And they may be focusing at that point in time on their own facilities, just because they can provide, they know how to provide the security in those facilities. If they need on occasion to use something like this, I don't think, as I said, as long as it's an occasional use, I don't think that it would be an issue. If it becomes something that they do more than a few times a year, we might want to take a look at some sort of different accommodation.
Yeah, because they made the point that they don't want to mix those students with the population that's at the campuses now when they come in for their exams. And those exams can be, if the child is ahead of the schedule, he or she can take that exam early. So it's not based off a set schedule, it's based off of the student's ability and where they're at in their coursework, so.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have some experience on this learning centers, and just want to share with the other commissioners. These are not, some of them, most of them are actually private, and in the larger cities, there are different programs. The two well-known programs that I know of, one is Kumon, which is a Japanese style, and the other one is Sullivan Center. And these are, in the larger cities, designed to be embedded into the commercial areas like grocery stores or malls and all that. And the reason is that, the parents are bringing the kids for 1 hour tutoring, and then, they go do shopping and come and pick them up. Again, the fire department indicates the size of the building and, the application they have. And for that purpose, I think I was encouraging for the past years or so to the staff that, we need to have that. And we had one in Fort Mohave, Mohave Valley area, which unfortunately they closed. I think in the future of our county and the future of the urban area, we're going to have that need, and especially with the latest report we got in the Mohave County that we failed miserably, we definitely need to have that tutoring going on. I mean, it was an eye-opening thing for all the parents that they have kids, that they need some supplement to do that. Having said that, that these are going to be in the strip malls, is going to be indoor. It's not the school that they have playgrounds or whatever. One comes in, one goes out. They have, 1 hour, 2 hour math, science, depends on the tutoring that needs to be done. The only objection I have is item number 5 of the staff recommendation, to have the obscuring device on the property line. Most of the strip malls that we have, and these are going to be basically their learning centers are going to be located there, they are not offering, those, for that reason. So I think that, that item, in my opinion, should be deleted.
Mr. Chairman, may I respond to?
Sure,
that?
absolutely.
Yeah, a view obscuring device as required in 24/7H. These types of supplemental learning centers that I'm familiar with are locating in strip malls. And so that would be a requirement of the strip mall itself and not necessarily the individual learning center unless they're constructing their own separate building. This is a requirement that's placed on all the uses in the C1 zone. If that is removed from where it is at, it would be, the requirement would be removed for all uses within that same zone. So the way this is written, this is currently in the ordinance. This is currently something that all C1 uses must do, and would be done, something that would be done at the time the strip mall itself was established. As the uses come into the strip mall or leave the strip mall, we do not police it at that time. We police it at the time that the building is constructed.
So, which most of these learning centers are leased properties. I mean, they go in, they just lease it, they don't own
Right.
anything.
Right.
So if it doesn't have this view obscuring device, if they were to come in, well, actually, it wouldn't make any difference because we're just going to allow it in there and whatever's there is there, correct?
Right, and if they don't, if the original owner didn't put in the view obscuring device, I mean, we do have some strip malls out there that basically were there before the requirement came in. They're non-conforming, they're not required to do it as the tenants change. If tenant comes in and we notice that the fence is not there, as a result of the reviewing a tenant change, we'll contact the owner and tell them they're in violation of their approval, and they have to put that in. It's not something we look for the tenant to do.
Okay.
Question I have then, Chris, if this would be part of our ordinance, and they want to open up a learning center, do they need to come and visit you for a zoning use permit, or can they just go ahead and do it because it's already properly zoned?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Azarmi, for planning permissions, such as rezones, use permits, et cetera, they do not need to come back to the county. Where they would need to come back to the county is for a change of use or a change of occupancy permit, which is a building permit. And/or if they were going to make improvements or changes to the building itself, then they would need to come in for a tenant improvement permit. But those are all building permits. Those are not planning permissions via rezone or use permit.
You're not including tenant improvements, are you? As far as if they come in for a permit? Because if they're
Tenant
doing
improvement-
stuff inside the building, it has nothing to do with the exterior of the building.
Tenant improvements do require a permit,
Right.
A building permit.
Right.
Yeah, and that would be the only permit they would be looking at, is some sort of building
I
permit.
I didn't want to trigger something else.
Beyond the building permit?
Yeah.
No, this would
Okay.
not do that.
Okay.
The way I
That's
read
my
it,
understanding.
my understanding was that, if they want to open up a learning center in a commercial, they need to have that item 5 as part of it. I think this is going to this is going to create some misunderstanding. I hope that staff would be able to add that existing, buildings or whatever are excluded from this. So at least, those who are going to review the zoning, which I assume that, that's what's going to happen, those who want to invest into, this type of, adventure and rent or whatever, they're going to read this ordinance. And especially the word is already out that you cannot have it on Highway 95 in Fort Mohave and all that. We want to make sure that we send the right, and there's no misunderstanding.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Azarmi, the only change, actually, most of what you're looking there is just a parroting of the existing ordinance. There are only 2 areas where the ordinance is being changed. One is that the definition of learning center is being added into definitions in Section 9. The second change is that under the uses permitted outright in C1 zones, we're adding learning centers, the term learning centers. So anything that falls in that would automatically become something that's allowed in that zone. All the other wording that you see there that doesn't have the underline and the bold is our items that are already in the zoning ordinance. So, I don't know if I made myself clear initially on that. Those are the only 2 changes we're making, or we're recommending,
I
excuse
just
me.
want to try to eliminate any misunderstanding in the future in terms of tenant improvement.
Yeah.
If staff is reading this and providing wrong information, that, you need to have a fence. Do you have a fence? I just want to make sure that it's not going to create a
Well,
problem.
as I said, most of that's taken care of when the structure's built during the site plan process. Very few tenant improvements trigger a site plan process.
Yeah, but majority of these are going to be rentals, as Carl stated. It's not going to be, I don't think that you're going to see people building, learning centers, because they're normally very small. They're not that big in nature, and they just people come and go.
A few thousand square feet, most of
Not
them.
even that, 1,200 square foot.
Any additional discussion?
I'm a little bit slow there, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, well.
Here goes. So you can have a tavern and a tattoo guy and a learning center and a water guy. I mean, if that's all, I'm thinking Fort Mojave, that's what we have. So, it's a strip mall. There's several strip malls, kind of U-shaped looking things or straight
Kind of
across
strip,
things.
what do you mean strip mall?
Strip mall. A bunch of little bitty buildings with, used to have karate
Hey,
places
I'm
in
just
them.
trying to add more to the mix, no worries.
So schools couldn't be there because of the tavern and the school, but a learning center, we're going to, I'm all for it. If it's just gonna take a little bit of space. And then the parents can go next door while the kids are learning something.
Well, if they go to a school, they're not going to go get tattooed.
Yeah.
The parents will.
Yeah, there's all kinds of restrictions on the schools themselves on where they can be placed.
Right, I know that. So learning centers will just strictly fall into C1.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Morabito, they would be allowed in all commercial zones, but because our commercial zones are cumulative, we only put that in C1, and it'll just carry through
To the rest, okay.
to the rest of them. And I'm not aware, the spacing for schools between schools and liquor establishments is actually governed by the state. I am not aware of any rules that apply to the learning centers. Quite frankly, we would leave it up to whoever is putting the learning center in place to be judicious in their locational decisions.
Well,
Any additional questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
second.
We have a motion to approve and second. Those in favor signify by, I'm sorry?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, a little clarification. This is not for
Motion.
adoption.
That's what I was thinking.
This is for
that's what we're-
discussion. No, this is
Just a
simply for
discussion. That's
discussion.
what was
What did we,
conflict
so we
confused.
approved the discussion.
I know, but I thought we were, what did we, never
Been
mind.
discussing
All
this
right,
for,
never
how
mind.
long do we keep discussing this? We've been
Well, I
discussing it
thought
for
we
several
discussed
months.
it last week, and I thought this week we were going to actually
This was on for discussion. Next week we'll bring it, or next month we'll bring it in for full adoption.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
I save my motion for next time then.
Save your motion for next time.
And my second.
Any additional comments by anybody?
Anybody?
If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
We have a motion to adjourn. Those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.
Now, Joe, could you elaborate why you were slow today?
And don't go to any more strip malls. Joe?